Hello and welcome back to Death for All, and we're in a battle already. Yeah, we're in a battle super fast because I am currently embroiled in relatively deep Vlandian territory. I am obviously trying to eliminate as many of the enemy vassals as we can because the Vlandians seem to be the faction that have been left alone for a pretty significant amount of time in our current playthrough, and that is indeed a bit of an issue, because we really do not want that. Generally, although, to be fair, okay, that's the thing. If this was, I don't know, if this was the Empire, or if this was the Crusade, or something like that, I'd probably be like, yeah, okay, we're probably going to have some pretty major problems. However, the main thing that we have to consider with the Vlandians is that they always seem to have some kind of infighting. There's a lot of infighting going on there. The lore itself, the background of the faction, a lot of the lords do tend to backstab each other, and they tend to be out for themselves much more than are actually working for the good of the kingdom. And so there are a number of different things that can happen that can actually benefit us without us actually having to do anything. And so that's why I say maybe it's not even really necessary for us to put our life on the line to be able to eliminate as many vassals as possible from the Vlandians. However, these guys are the only ones that we're actually at war against right now, so we might as well take the opportunity, right? Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good idea to me. Oh, and that was... that was nice. That was a nice headshot and a half, wasn't it? Well, technically it wasn't a headshot, it was a neck shot, but still. There we go. Oh yeah, we got some nice little thrusty thrusts going on here as well. Oh, very nice. Wow, what's actually going on here? Am I actually able to do damage with a thrusting attack? Yes, I mean, generally I am not too bad at that nowadays. I used to be a lot worse at it. Anyway, as I mentioned in the previous episode, we've just been running around trying to recruit as many noble units as possible. I'm actually having some difficulties finding war mounts. War mounts have been a pretty big shortage, but they are a lot easier for us to acquire than it was before, because obviously, if you played a previous version of Bannerlord, then you'll know that generally war mounts were extremely rare, or not extremely, but they were pretty rare, and it was quite difficult to find them reliably unless you wanted to pay a significant amount of cash. However, now that the developers have included an additional tier of horse by basically making it possible for there to be noble mounts. So there are regular mounts, war mounts, and noble mounts. And war mounts are used to upgrade your primary horse forces. And that is, in my opinion, a fantastic and wonderful addition to the whole deal. Because, let's face it, you really do not want to have a shortage of horses. That is a very frustrating gameplay aspect, in my opinion, of Bannerlord. But of course, it is. Is it realistic? Is it realistic? Maybe it's realistic. I'm not sure, to be honest, really, because on the one hand, I think if a faction or if an army leader or something along those lines, I mean, I don't know, let's look at a real world example of someone that used a lot of horses. I mean, generally a lot of people in history used horses. Okay, obviously, duh, right? You know, of course, they've got to have cavalry. But let's just say Genghis Khan, okay? Genghis Khan obviously had significant amounts of horses, so on and so forth, right? Anyway, point is, most of the time, they're going to be gaining horses just generally from a variety of places. They're not actually going to have to search for them. Oh, she died. Look at that. She actually died on this. Wow. Okay, that's pretty significant. Anyway, yeah, as I say, generally they're just going to get these horses just because they are walking around. They're invading certain territories, and they're able to get these things just purely for the fact that they're there, and that's how they find them. However, when it comes to Bannerlord, that's not actually how it is. You do have to search high and low to be able to find the things that you need to be able to upgrade these guys. As you can see, I actually have a significant amount of troops that need to level up. And unfortunately, that is just not how it's working for me. It's not how it's working for me right now. So I'm going to have to continue going to these villages, for example. Look, there's a village right over here. I'm just going to go over there, and just so I can potentially show you the limited capacity at which we're able to gain these things. And I mean, yeah, as you can see, look, there is literally one war mount that I'm willing to buy here for 1,000. Now, this is not even good, okay? This is not even a good... you know what? I'm actually not even going to do it, okay? I'm not even going to do it. Purely for the fact that I just do not want to spend 1,000 gold on one horse. I think that's a huge amount, actually. Hilariously enough, look at Caladog. He just won the tournament at Lagata. No doubt he wants to try and overtake us on the leaderboard. And hopefully we're going to prevent him from doing that. But yeah, as you can see, once again, war mounts, very expensive. That's probably because we're nearby to Vlandian territory. Vlandian territory, as you may or may not know, is usually having huge problems with supplying war mounts. And so generally, if you want to, you can go all the way to Khuzait territory. You can buy a bunch of horses, and then you can go all the way to Vlandian territory, and you can probably, and this is something that is unconfirmed from my side because I actually haven't done this particular trade route ever before, but as far as I'm aware, this is a pretty decent way of making some cash. Because obviously Khuzait, they're well known for their horses. You're more than likely going to be able to buy some stuff there for a very cheap-ish price. And then, well, then you can take it to the Vlandians, and they're going to be very pleased to see you. And there's another 19,000 for us. That's actually really nice. Yeah, I'm actually going to go in here. Oh, oh, no. This is maybe not the best idea. Yeah, well, generally, I would have liked to have gone in here if this was a horse reward, but Caladog is here, and I kind of want to prevent him from winning. Maybe, if we can actually do that. Nice headshot. Get him. Oh, no, it went over his shoulder. Ah, okay, well, it seems like I'm going to have to do this the old-fashioned way then. Nice little slashy slash to finish things off. Very nice indeed. All right, so here we go. Now, this is obviously a pretty big issue here. The yellow team is going to be a problem. Let's just see if I can eliminate the green team really, really fast. Okay, there we go. Kill him. And this is Caladog, I assume. This looks like Caladog. Yes, there we go. It is indeed Caladog. All right, so we are basically through already as far as I can tell. So I'm very pleased with that. Don't need to worry about Caladog any further, because he's obviously not going to go through to the next round. And that's great, because that means that he's going to be forever behind us in tournaments. Oh yes, I don't even know how much I'm getting. In terms of renown, that is. I have no idea. So maybe I want to take a look at that. Maybe I want to take a look at that. I just don't even know how I'm supposed to check that, to be honest. I don't know whether there's a report function or something like that that allows me to see how much I'm actually making in terms of my renown rewards, but I don't think there is, actually. Nice little backslash. And can we take him down? We might be able to. What about a little shield bash? Nope, that is not going to work for me. Oh, did you see that? That was hilarious. Okay, I literally jumped, and he was attacking in midair, and then it went above my head. Wow, that was actually pretty cool. I like those kinds of moments, you know, those kinds of uncommon moments that don't usually happen. That's always extremely fun to see. Anyway, there's a nice little victory for us, and as you see, we are now once again, 2 wins ahead of Caladog, which is obviously how it's supposed to be. All right, so One thing I want to do is I actually want to go to Askar. If I actually go over there, this is a town that has 2 villages that are tied to it that have horses available. And, well, what do you get if you are, at a town nearby to 2 villages that are producing a particular resource? Well, you're probably going to get a significant amount of that one resource, right? Yeah. So hopefully that's going to happen. We can only just cross our fingers and hope, because I go to these villages and you see here how much they actually are. I mean, look at that. This particular war mount is 800. 800. And you can imagine, just think about the significant cost that actually turns out to be. I mean, you see here, I could buy this for even cheaper. I can buy that for 777. But you see what I'm talking about here, though. Because if you think about how much I'm actually spending all together, I mean, I obviously have to upgrade my my forces themselves. So, for example, it's not just the cost of the mount, it's the cost of the unit in general. So, yeah, it's a little bit harsh. Oh, we're declaring war against the Khuzaits and we're making peace with the Vlandians. Our kingdom will receive 1,700? Really? Okay. I'm very, very surprised at that, actually. Very surprised. Okay. Yeah, well, I obviously can't do anything about this, so I'm just going to abstain just to get that out of the way, so that we can get this going, declaring war against them and making peace. This is super strange. Look at this. This is really weird, because look at the combat strength right here. The Vlandians quite clearly have more combat strength, so it's very strange that they would even contemplate paying anyone for a peace agreement. But I can only assume the reason why they're doing this is purely for the fact that they have another faction at war against them. That is the only thing that I can really think of that is applicable in this situation. So I guess it's good or bad. I don't know. I mean, we're generally declaring war against the Khuzait anyway, and I suppose it's a decent-ish idea to minimize the amount of enemies that you have, even though we weren't really having too many problems. But I obviously don't really know about the greater whole of the faction in general, because I'm not really taking note of that. I'm not really taking note of how many vassals have died. I'm not really caring too much about that in general. But yeah, that's something that obviously Unkid is going to be taking care of as much as he possibly can. At least I can only hope he is doing that, but let's face it, he's probably not, he's probably not. Anyway, we are at war against the Khuzait, and as you can see, Tamna Castle is up for grabs, but the main thing here is that I actually do not want to get into a battle with any castles or towns or anything like that. My main concern right now is just fighting vassals. I literally just want to fight vassals, and that is all that I really want to do. Alright, so what we're going to do also is I'm going to try to sell a couple of these things here. I don't really need most of this. I'm just going to get rid of all of that, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to buy some food, because I currently don't have a significant amount of that, and we're going to be heading into Khuzait territory. You never know when we're going to be returning to Azerai territory, so it would be a nice idea just to make sure we have a little bit of supplies, just to tide us over until we return. Ooh, hello there. There is a vassal that we will fight. Yes. Ah, yes, you are going to be absolutely murdered. Thank you very much. All right, so I technically, now if I was obviously doing this off screen, I would probably just go in for an auto-resolve here, but that doesn't give my own character any skills whatsoever. So it's probably a good idea for us to do a nice little F1, F3, because let's face it, we don't really need to use any strategy here whatsoever. I think my forces are relatively good at what they do. I'm pretty good at what I do. I mean, when it comes to little pokey pokes, sometimes it's going to be okay. And we're not going to die. Or at least I can only hope that we're not going to die. Ooh, that was a bit close. That was a bit close. Could have definitely ended badly there, but thankfully not. Not in this case, at least. And hopefully I'll be able to continue getting my polearm skill leveled up. I actually do want to get my archer skill leveled up too, and I do have a pretty significant amount of focus points in that, but the amount of times that I've used my bow have been quite disappointing, actually, surprisingly enough. Because I'm always thinking to myself, oh yeah, I would like to get my archer skill leveled up. But whenever I use my bow, I always think, oh, okay, I just did 70 damage. And yeah, okay, 70 damage from range, that's pretty okay, you know, that's pretty decent. But when you're using a noble bow, which is widely considered one of the best, if not the best bow in the game, you kind of expect a little bit more performance out of it. And unfortunately, I'm not getting that performance. So, I mean, I understand, you know, I do get it. I do need to actually use it to be able to get better at using it. You know what I mean? You know, you do need to do that kind of stuff. But it's just the process of doing it that is a little bit frustrating for me at the moment. But it's all right. It's all right. Because that's the point. If we can go and we can do the process while gaining experience, while gaining money, and a variety of other things, then I'm very much on board with that. In other words, fighting vassals. Ooh, hello there. Look at that. Another clan has been eliminated. Let me have a look-see. There they go. That is Tassanor's clan. He is originally the leader. And as you can see, he literally died at the age of 27. He was only 27. Whoa, okay. And she was 38. Look at that. Wow, that's pretty significant. That is incredibly significant. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, that's happening all over the place, isn't it? Okay, wait a minute. There's actually another army right here. We should be a bit careful of this. This is a wonderful place, by the way, to attempt any kind of intercept, because it's a bottleneck, obviously. It's a bottleneck, and you are pretty much forcing the opponent into a situation where they cannot even, they can't even escape. They cannot escape from this, because there's water all around here. Very difficult to get away from it. And a better way of actually doing that is by using the Alt key and holding that Alt and left clicking on them, and then just, you know, trying to intercept them that way, because they generally don't think you're going to attack them, but they kind of do. So they're wary and they make mistakes much more often than if you were to just chase them, because then they know 100% if you're chasing them that you're going to be attacking. Whereas if you use Alt, they don't. They don't know 100% that you're going to attack. So that really makes a huge difference in your overall success of getting someone into battle with you. Especially if you are slower than them, but you do get them into a bottleneck or something along those lines, then you might be able to corner them just so in the right angle at the right time. And then you're going to be having a pretty wonderful time there. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with our performance so far as well in a variety of these battles. Not sure if we can even... You know what? Let's try fighting a harder vassal, shall we? Let's try fighting maybe an army. Maybe an army would actually do a little bit better for us. There's another 19 influence. Are we finally out of the... well, the poorhouse when it comes to our influence? Are we actually, you know, finally looking relatively good on that front? I'm actually not entirely sure. Let's just take a quick look after this. Nice amount of loot there as well. All right. Yes, look at that. I'm finally out of it. Okay, I'm out of the negatives. That is wonderful. Okay, that means that we can now start voting on things. We can now start gaining back charm skill and everything. That's always wonderful, isn't it? Anyway, here's another wonderful thing that we can do. I'm not going to be going in for a battle here. I'll just go in for a nice little auto-resolve, and we'll otherwise just take some prisoners, and we'll just move on to the nearby town of Danustica. Oh yeah, talking about someone with Ustica at the end of their name, Rustica, which is our which is technically our son's spouse, she has gotten pregnant again. So yeah, another little heir is on the way, which is actually wonderful for us. That means that we don't have to worry too much about things if I do end up dying. So that definitely takes a little bit of the pressure off, which I'm very, very pleased about, actually. We'll just sell a couple of these guys. Let's see if this has... No, this doesn't have anything for us, unfortunately. And yeah, okay. So, Achaku. Okay, so Achaku is usually an extremely fast vassal, but at the moment he seems to be quite slow. So I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm not sure whether he's just running around with recruits or something like that. He might just be running around with recruits, and that's the reason why. Oh, I'm actually really surprised that he eliminated so many of our forces, but I guess that's just how it goes. Okay, nothing to equip. We're just going to equip all of our forces right there. As you can see, they're getting some pretty massive upgrades, actually, all things considered. Anyway, I'm going to very quickly just go over to... Ooh, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, they would have caught me right there. Yeah, okay. Just going to go over to this castle real fast because I want to recruit some noble units if I can. Or not. As the case may be. Yes, wonderful, isn't it? Oh, hello. There's a horse. There is a horse available here. Generally, if this is a bit of a... I mean, it's not really a tip. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I try to give useful information. So if someone doesn't know something in particular, or if there's some little... I don't know, some little subtle thing that you might not notice or might not see or know about or whatever, then I generally tend to try and mention that. But anyway, point is, small tip, if you're looking for money and you don't necessarily want to do tournaments because maybe the amount of money that you're getting from the bets is not good enough any further because you've just done so many and it's just not paying off any further, right? Well, just look for ones that give horses. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Is that actually useful? Yeah, I don't know. Is that actually... No, probably not. Because most of the rewards are actually going to sell for a pretty decent amount, but they're obviously not going to sell for as much as one of these horses will. So, obviously, there's that. But, yeah, generally, if you don't want to waste your time with doing tournaments or anything like that, then it's a really good idea to just do the ones that reward a horse. Actually got to be a bit careful here. I might end up dying. Okay, no, not against this guy at least. What about this one? Nope, not against that one either. Haha, take that, thank you. Take that and get out of here. Alright, so I'm just going to let these guys do their thing. I'm just going to zoom things ahead a little bit here. And there we are. Okay, the Azerite... Azerite infantry is apparently winning this. Oh, never mind, you're dead, sir. There we go. Very nice to see that. Okay, so let's see what this guy plans to do. We have thrown weapons. Let's see if I can do a little bit of long range. Oh, nice! We hit him in the head from the longest range. Well, that's pretty. That's not too bad. That is not too bad. I think I've probably hit someone much further away, but not in a tournament. That's for sure. In a battlefield situation, yeah, I've definitely hit someone from that distance away, but tournament, no way. Yeah, they usually have their shield up or, you know, some other thing. Okay, unfortunate that we weren't able to eliminate him. Oh, okay. Unfortunate that we weren't able to eliminate him. Swiftly eliminates him. Very nice. Okay, so there we go. We actually did get a horse, which is absolutely perfect. Obviously, I'm not going to be using this for upgrading or anything like that. I'm literally just going to go over here, see how much it sells for. It sells for 12,000 from here. But it is going to sell for a lot more elsewhere. So let's go very quickly over to these villages, which might have some noble... Oh, no, never mind. That one was raided, so obviously that's not going to really work for us, unfortunately. This one will, though, but very, very little amounts of units to recruit there, unfortunately. Amusingly enough, this castle is a very good place to get noble units because there are 3 villages tied to it. That really makes a huge difference, the availability of it, because some castles only have 1 village, you know? Some castles only have 1. So, but yeah, you could see the amount of vassals and things that are continuing to die even now is actually significant. Oh, look at that. I actually replaced my horse. Okay, so my other horse is going to sell for 9,500 from, well, at this place, which is actually pretty good, I think. I think it is pretty good. So I'm just going to sell that. We're going to get 4,000 for it, which I think is decent-ish. And we will now be moving into Khuzait territory itself. With our friends, the Azurai, pushing into Khuzait territory, they are now becoming a little bit overzealous, potentially. Yeah, you'll see what I mean when I zoom out a little bit here, and they have indeed declared war against the Southern Empire as well as the Khuzait. So this is obviously maybe a little bit, I don't know, ill-advised? I think it's probably a little bit ill-advised. Anyway, we do have a couple of perk points to spend. Let's have a look-see here. Plus 50% aiming duration or plus 30% damage with bows to mounts. I'm probably going to be taking plus 50% aiming duration without losing accuracy. That sounds pretty good to me. And otherwise, we can go for our 175 scouting. 5% chance to find a mount when traveling through steppes and plains. That is usually where we're traveling at the moment. Ooh. Okay, wait a minute. The only reason why I would actually be taking this is for the minus 15% disorganized state duration. In my opinion, that is really invaluable. However, 5% chance to find a mount when traveling through steppes and plains. I mean, we're traveling through there right now, so I'm thinking we might just go for that. Yeah, we'll just go for that. I think that sounds pretty good. And we're going to make ourselves the scout as well, just to make sure that we know who's doing what. Because we don't have Bruce with us anymore at the moment, because obviously he's, you know, kind of on his, well, on his gap year, shall we say. He's on his gap year and he's spending it with his spouse, and that's all very great and wonderful. And you know, then we don't have to really worry too much about if I die, you know, because then they're fine, you know, they're in a completely separate portion of the map, and we don't have to worry about them dying in the same exact battle if we were, shall we say, if the worst were to happen. And that is a possibility, you know, it can happen. There's only a 3 times as likely chance as a normal unit for them to perish. So it's very, very likely in actual fact. And I was actually kind of thinking the other day, maybe it would be cool if we actually had the 1-for-1. I wonder how crazy that would be, because obviously at the moment it is 3 times as likely for them to survive as a, you know, as a regular unit, or than a regular unit, in comparison to the 1-for-1, which is basically the same survivability rating as a regular unit. Of course, this is where medicine comes in, and this actually brings me to that point where I'm thinking to myself, that is significant value. And you may be thinking, okay, what are you talking about now? What are you talking about now? Well, I'm talking about the fact that medicine skill is usually, okay, I'm gonna say it, usually it is necessary, but it is not crucial, okay? It is not crucial. It's not one of those things where you go, oh yes, I really need to have medicine skill because this basically ensures that, you know, X thing is done exactly when I need it to be done. But that is the thing with this mod. I think this mod brings everything much more to the forefront. It basically says, you need to do this thing because then you're going to have a much easier time. And that's exactly why I'm thinking to myself, yeah, medicine skill, absolutely fantastic. It becomes a critical skill instead of one, as I said, that you are kind of just like, yeah, I think that could be kind of useful. But medicine skill now is like, yeah, you need this, you know, you need it. It's the same thing if you were getting the 1-for-1 mod. If you get the 1-for-1 mod, then yeah, you're going to need that. You're going to need a really good medic. And I'd actually recommend playing with Distinguished Service, actually. That would probably be a better thing to do. Because then what you do is you literally just, you know, promote someone, make them into an absolutely godlike medic of some kind or another, just give them a huge amount of medicinal skill, and then you're going to be absolutely fine. And you're going to have no issues. Or you might have very few issues. You probably have some issues, because let's face it, there are going to be some issues, because it's all percentage chance. You know, it's all dice-based, basically. You know, it's a roll of the dice that is going to determine whether you live or whether you die. But, you know, most of the time you're probably going to have a pretty lenient time, because you're not going to be, you know, fully faced with the Reaper at every turn. You know, most of the time you're just going to be like, oh yeah, it's a little bit, you know, it's a little bit bad. It's a little bit bad, but because we have, you know, 250 in medicine skill, we're looking pretty good. And that's actually one of the reasons why that perk is now all of a sudden extremely lucrative to take. Because of course there are different perks in the medicine tree where you may think, oh yeah, this is okay, but it's not amazing. But when you have this mod installed, it makes it basically invaluable. Like, for example, cheat death due to old age once and 50% less chance to die when you fall unconscious in battle. I mean, really, this perk alone basically makes it so unlikely that you're going to die, but it is still, obviously it's still possible, but medicine skill is really, really good in this game, and highly recommended to get someone that does it. But of course, hilariously enough, what do you bet that if I were to have a like a dedicated medic, because I actually don't even know who is my dedicated medic, by the way. Do I have one? Because I'm now thinking that I don't even have one. Wait a minute, let me have a look. It's me. Are you serious? Wait a minute, I had one, didn't I? Didn't I have one? No, Soren doesn't have anything. Is Bruce on medic? No, he has 52. Rustica. Wait a minute. Am I looking at the wrong thing? Where's medic? Where's medic skill? Medic skills there. We don't have a medic when we're playing with Death for. Okay, when we're playing with this mod and I don't have a medic, I am the smartest person in the world. Not. Oh my. Okay, this is real bad. Okay, Well, as you can see, if I click alive here, you can see the grayed out names are everyone that has died. Yes, that's a lot of people. That is a lot of people. Even the companions can die. I think, wait. No, they're not the ones that are dead. They're the ones that we haven't seen yet. Okay, my bad. Anyway, yeah, I'm looking for someone that can do medic skill, but we obviously cannot. Who's actually? I think this one actually does medic skill. Soren of the no, that's not that. That's one of mine. Okay, so wait a minute. I'm gonna need maybe the scholar. That might be a smith though. Willowbark. I think Willowbark is the only one. Home is in Tile, but I actually don't know where that. I don't know whether they would be staying there or whether I need to go all the way up there. But that's going to be extremely difficult for me to do at this point. So probably not going to be doing that. But it's a pain, isn't it? It's a pain to find these companions now. Oh well, never mind. Maybe there's someone here that we can take? No. Okay, that guy's a really good combat companion though, so it might be good to take him for like a caravan or something like that. Anyway, I think that's probably going to be it for this episode. You can see here that we have massive amounts of action going on here, and hopefully we're going to be able to tackle some more vassals. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.